So, things that I want to see in the dev live stream. I would say some of the main things that I want to see is I want to see them remove the requirement for renown. I think the fact that you have to have, you have to like be capped on renown every season is like just insane, and it's like way too much. I understand like having to do it one time, and I think that's totally fine. But needing to do it multiple times over and over, I think it's just too much, man. So like, let me actually just write it down and look and see like what do I want to see changed. Okay. All right. Short term, gem tab. Long term. Let's see here. Stash. Yeah, search stash tab. Midterm, I think this is just for season 1. Okay. Long term, okay, group dungeons. I don't really care a lot about that. Larger aspect tab, yeah. Dueling? Yeah, dueling would be really cool. Locking items, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, like, this is kind of something else. I think that having, like, I feel like you've pretty much, like, finished your character whenever you're, like, 80. How many of you guys pretty much got everything that you needed besides, like, maybe one unique and, like, a few really well, better loot filter? Yeah. Dungeons without objectives. Yeah. More challenging boss fights. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually another one. This is a thing. I think ultimate skill. I think we should have 7 skills. Yeah, loadouts. That's a lot. Oh yeah, debuffs. Okay. Collecting glyphs account wide. I don't really mind that. Death recap? Yeah, death recap would be nice. Closer to 100, more often you'll have ancestral drops. Maybe, yeah. Things I want in Diablo 4, Diablo 5, yeah. Yeah, I want Path of Exile. Can you put Path of Exile in the game? Speaking of that. Better crafting. Mount pointer distance, yeah. Here's my list of what I want a Diablo 4. Paladins and more viewers. Yeah. Let's be real, they won't listen to you. You're not a vivid Diablo content creator. You're nothing, just like the rest of us. Well, if they don't want to listen to what my opinions are on the game, then that's fine. It's their game, it's not my game, but this is just what I think could make the game better, right? I mean, I don't really give a fuck. If they don't do it, then, I mean, okay, like, that's whatever. I mean, then I'll do the same thing I did with Diablo 4, or Diablo 3. I'll just stop playing the game. Like, okay. I'm not gonna fucking fight them on this. I'm just saying, like, these are the things I think would make the game better, right? I mean, I don't know. If they don't want to do it, then that's fine. Yeah, I just checked. I'm like the second highest stream on Diablo that's streaming it, besides F Extra Life, who's a view botter. So, like, I feel like, I mean, I mean, if it's like, they should listen, right? I mean, why not? Give us the ability to buy a yacht. HP a barb. Yeah, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Lilith Mount? Yeah. Teleport to Nightmare Dungeons? I actually disagree with, oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Nightmare Cellars, yeah. That's actually that's a long-term thing. How many of you guys go into your cellars whenever you're riding by? Like, I'll do it like maybe once every like 20 that I see, just because I'm bored. No. Most people, no. Too much hassle. Map overlay? No, I don't think they should do map overlay right now. I don't think that's even... I don't think that's in the top 100 problems in the game. I actually don't think... The map overlay is probably one of the only things that is like an unpopular opinion that I agree with Blizzard on. That I respect their decision to not have a map overlay, but I think that they should also keep in mind why players want a map overlay and how much backtracking you have to do in the dungeon. Why? The reason why is that in Path of Exile, you play with the map overlay up all the time, pretty much, almost all the time. I all the time, I'll see videos of people that are playing with the map overlay all the time. Like, I do it, and I think that is, I think that's, I don't know, I think that sucks. Now, what I think that, here's a compromise. I think they should allow you to zoom out the mini-map 2 more clicks. To where it's like right about like here. So like that would kind of do both. PoE spoiled us? No, it's not, didn't spoil you because Diablo 2 had it, right? All I'm saying is that, like, I respect why they don't have it. What do you think of so much power and identity to tied to aspects? You have to farm hours only to be used one time on one item. I actually think the aspects are totally fine. I don't have a single problem with aspects. Oh, yeah, Necro. I don't think Necro is that bad. Barb seems fine to level. I don't know. I feel like yeah, I just think that early game like that's all they need to do is fix the scaling for some early game abilities, and it would be fine. Make it possible to turn off other players' effects. I haven't had that problem. Anything about Harlequin Crest and Grandfather? Yeah. So I don't think it's super cool that you don't have a, like, we've had, like, let's look and see if we can find a video of it. Okay, I think that's a good idea, right? So nobody has a single video at all. This is just clickbait, right? Yeah. So like the only item that we've ever seen is that one person got a Harlequin Crest. One person got it to drop in like China or something like that. And nobody has had this sword drop. Was it Korea? Okay. And one Doombringer.
Actually busted. Like, look how
Wow. Holy shit. Look at that. Oh my god. 23% maximum life. That's insane. It can roll up to 41% max life.
How ridiculous this is.
Yeah.
4 skill damage, which is a great damage, which is a great thing to have on anything.
Literally the lowest roll possible. I think it's silly that the items are that low of a drop chance. I get that, like, they want to make them a low drop chance, but I think that the idea that you can, like, because here's why it works in Path of Exile. Let's compare it to PoE. Is that you can get a Headhunter if you play all League and you are a, like, you know what you're doing, right? Because you will work towards it over time. Shaco, like, let's compare Shaco versus Mageblood, right? And Mageblood, you can get Apothecaries, you can Chance Orbit, you can Ancient Orbit, and you can also just buy it. Whereas with Shaco, or the Grandfather Sword, or Doombringer, it's just, yeah, Shaco drops a few in week 1. Yeah, like, people, you all the time hear of people that get items like this in PoE. Somebody has like a Headhunter drop on like day 3, and like they make a Reddit post about it. I remember that happened in this league, actually. I think the rarity of them is fun. So like, I agree that the rarity of them is fun. However, I think that there should be more ways towards that rarity, which also makes them less rare. However, like, I would say probably, I mean, these items are more rare than a Mirror of Kalandra in Path of Exile. Like, that's insane. It's not just chance. They're level gated. The Shaco and Doombringer are both 820. Yeah, that's definitely true. T5 will probably increase Magic Find. Yeah, there'll probably be a good chance that, yeah, you guys are probably right about that, whenever you get up to tier 5, these items might be a lot more common. Mageblood is tradable. Yeah, and that's another big factor, is that, like, all of the items are tradable. Add Magic Find stats to gear. Magic Find isn't fun. I think that that's actually not true. I actually think Magic Find is fine, but I really dislike whenever you have to trade damage for Magic Find. That's what's stupid. Like, having extra Magic Find that you can get through different things is really cool, but having to trade damage away for it feels really bad, and I don't like the design of that. Because about low drop rates, items are not needed. They're amazing, yes. Needed, no. I don't know, I just want to get a cool item. Like, that's all. It's 2 weeks now. I think Blizzard did a good job to keep some items in a mythic state. See, like, but 2 weeks, like, the 2 weeks that people have played the game right now are going to, like, we're going to have more people playing the game in these 2 weeks than probably ever in the history of the game until probably the first expansion for Diablo 4. And even that probably won't have as many people playing it. So, like, if people didn't get them in these 2 weeks, they're not going to get them after that. Like, say it in 2 people applying to the same game and only 1 person has found 1. Yeah, that's nuts. If you don't trade damage for Magic Find, then Magic Find is mandatory stat. Well, yeah, because you want to get items with more Magic Find, but you don't need to have Magic Find on gear. You could have Magic Find on other places or have it designed in a different way. There's not even 10,000 level 100s yet, no. There probably is by now, but whenever Blizzard made that post, they said it was about 6,000. It was like 6.6 thousand. They drop at 98 plus. Most people aren't there yet. I would actually be fine if those items only dropped at like 98 or level 100. But this is what I think they should do. I think they should make the drops from the Uber Pinnacle bosses. I think that Uber Lilith, if you kill her solo, should have like a 10% chance to drop either Shaco or Grandfather. I think that's what it should be. Because those are the hardest, that's the hardest content in the game. And if you do the hardest content in the game, you get the best item in the game. Then everyone would just farm that? Yeah, everybody would just farm Uber Lilith. Yeah, true. People would just be farming that all the time. Yeah. I'll take 10% is way too much. No, I think that at that point, like if you're good enough to kill, like 5% would be fine with me too, by the way. Like I'd be okay with 5%. If you are good enough to kill Uber Lilith, you deserve this item. That's the way I feel. Like we're talking about people that are beating the game. Like these are 0.1% players that are actually killing Uber Lilith. Solo only. Only solo. WoW player perspective right there. Is Uber Lilith tough? Yeah, it seems like it's really hard. What about this is disagreeable? Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. Why do you think this is a bad idea? Nah, nope, nah. No, I want to hear why, because you've obviously disagreed with me 3 times. What's your reasoning for why this is a bad idea? Go ahead and explain it. 100% bad idea. Diablo's already been RNG-based games on all mobs can drop anything at certain eye levels. Was there anything like this in Diablo 3 that was like super, super rare that you could like, that only 1 person in the world had after 2 weeks? I don't think there was. The aim closed for D2 for this game, Death's Web, Tyrael's Might, etc. were the hardest drops in Diablo 2. I mean, here's what my opinion is. I'm not playing Diablo 2. I'm playing Diablo 4. And there's a reason for that. Like, I'm not playing the old game. I don't want to play the old game. I want to play the new. I want the new game to be good. I don't care what they did 20 years ago. 20 years ago, the game was completely different. Like, playing video games was totally different. Like, everything was different back then. Like, I don't want to, like, so, like, based off of what happened 20 years ago, we have to design the game has to be around this? Like, that's crazy, man. That's 20 years ago. Why would we keep designing a game around that? That's insane. No one like that idea? That's why I wouldn't like the idea. Well, if you're not good at bosses, here's what my opinion is. If you go and you tell me I'm not good at bosses, what you're really telling me is I'm not good at the game. So that's really what it is. PoE is based on Diablo 2 drops and farming styles. You literally enjoy a game that's based on Diablo 2. Well, Crack, if you understood the way that Path of Exile worked, which you don't, but if you did, you'd understand that I actually have been using Path of Exile as a frame of reference to argue why the drop rate for these items are bad. Like you don't understand Path of Exile, so why would you use it as an example? I mean, you want to talk about Diablo 2, like, sure. I mean, I can't really compare to that, but PoE, you're just completely wrong. Toning it down doesn't mean it drops all the time. I just think that the really, really rare drops should drop from the hardest bosses. Aspect tiers, yeah, yeah, that's actually a good one. Yeah. Yep, true. I've watched PoE since the start. I've talked to Chris multiple times in person about the game. I think I know more about it than you. Then how do you reconcile using Path of Exile as a counterexample whenever Path of Exile has not only unlimited trading, but it also has targeted ways to farm different items and also divination cards? So how are these two things equal in your mind? I don't understand how that makes sense. Wasn't talking about trading. The original game was based on Diablo 2, but it's evolved over time to what it is today. Yeah, the original game was based on Diablo 2 and it's evolved over time. So let me get this straight. You're using an example from Path of Exile that came out after the game's evolved, but the argument is based off of the game at a time when it didn't even have the item that you're arguing to compare with Diablo 4 with. Like, because they just added Mageblood like a few leagues ago. Like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it doesn't even make sense. What are your thoughts on nerfs on the dungeons? I think that Blizzard should make the dungeons, like, I don't mind the nerfs on the dungeons. The trade-off between kill speed and farming efficiency might be a really fun system to tinker with and get your farming gear set. No, I don't think so. I think that Magic Find gear sucks and it just makes the game less fun. Yeah, I understand. Like, I played Path of Exile. There are a lot of functions of Magic Find in that game. I know how it works. I don't think it's fun. What do you think about locking items behind World Tier 4? Isn't shitty to replace 2 of your complete items after reaching Tier 4? No, I think it's totally fine. I don't mind that. Taking div cards out of the equation, would you say Grandfather and Harlequin Quest are more rare than Mageblood or Headhunter? No, they're not. Even if you probably just had drops, like just drops by themselves, I've watched Empyrean stream for years, and I've seen him probably drop like 30 Headhunters, and that's one person. Was the Korean Shaco confirmed? I mean, I don't know if it was confirmed, but it's probably existed. Never seen a mirror in all the years I played. Yeah, I think it's like 20,000 hours on average for a mirror. That's what people have figured out. Oh, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Read that in chat. I have to add KFC secret chicken level. So I haven't played Diablo 4 yet. Played a lot of PoE. What are the main differences? The game plays really well. I think it plays better than PoE does in terms of like fluidity, but it's a lot less complex. No WASD on the list. Oh yeah. Yeah, you should have the option for WASD movement, even if you don't want to use it. Why is it accessibility related? I think it's accessibility related, and also it just feels better to play for a lot of people. Personally, like, I kind of would rather have WASD, because, like, for example, if you're like moving and shooting, right, you have to like click and then click and then click and then click, right, to shoot. And it's like if you had WASD, you could just be moving and then just like use all of your attacks on your own. I think that WASD is just simply a better way of doing it. And also, I don't even know if I would use WASD all the time. I'd probably use click to move a lot of the time. But I just also, like, how many of you guys does it hurt your hand playing the game for a long period of time? Yeah, like, it doesn't hurt my hand at all, by the way. Like, I have no pain at all in my hand, ever. But it's just it's an unnecessary problem. Clear all button for resetting Paragon boards. Yeah. Add CCDR so you're not perma-stunned with some Nightmare Dungeon mods. I'd have to see what the CCDR really even is. I think giving you a debuff meter would help a lot. Yeah, that's another good one. More treasure goblins in dungeons. Why? Because they're cool. You remember back whenever they added Reaper of Souls into Diablo 3 and you had like the whole treasure goblin areas? You would like just go into an area and there'd be like 15 treasure goblins. Whatever happened to that, man? What if, for example, on level 90 plus relics or 90 plus nightmare dungeons, you could get a chance to have an affix that every single rare mob is replaced with the butcher? I think that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Slightly more fun. The bosses didn't drop guard. Yeah, bosses. That's actually a really good one. That's a very good point. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. I will see you all tomorrow.